Well, we are gathered here today once again without Tracy Koga, who is on vacation again. Where is she?
She's in Florida, I believe.
Are you sure?
I believe that.
I lose track.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Thank you for sitting in, Jeff Bromley. Since you couldn't afford to be in Florida, we're happy to have you here.
Thanks for being just as broke as us.
Nice. So did anybody this week go to the Rihanna concert this past week? I don't think.
Absolutely.
So
I was there with
you
my
obviously.
entire extended family. We were all there.
Yeah. So you're seen.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't think any of us went, no?
No.
I was there on Twitter.
Well,
Nice.
I was going to say that this is why I know. First of all, she was many hours late due to a big debacle of being held up at the border.
She was almost Axl Rose late.
But not. I don't know what that even
Axl
means.
Rose used to be like 8 hours late for his shows. And there
Well,
was
she's
always a riot and
notorious
stuff.
apparently, and I don't know this. I only know this again through Twitter and other media accounts. But apparently, she is often 3 to 4 hours late for her shows, which is frustrating and annoying, I guess, if you're going to their shows.
Kind of my kind of girl.
Yeah, me too.
However,
somebody's later than me.
People were quite critical on Twitter that I guess she did quite a bit of lip syncing in the show. And we're not talking like Milli Vanilli style lip syncing where she's not even making sounds out of her own mouth.
She's not the
sang
one
the
who
songs,
actually
right?
That's right, exactly, that too. But anyway, was singing along to a pretty hearty backup track, and people are upset about this. But you are making a face.
Yeah, I'm super passionate about this. I feel like if you're going to go out there and sell it that you're performing live in a live setting, and this is what people can expect to see when they come out to a show, and you're actually not performing live, you've got backup vocals or whatever the case is. There's varying degrees of backup vocals, I find, at shows. Sometimes it's straight up Milli Vanilli. I've seen that. And I've also seen backup vocals laid under tracks in various levels of it. But if you're going to go to a show, at least I expect, to see a live performance. There's a lot of musicians out there who do still perform like that, and those are the musicians that I like to go see because I want to hear them in the live setting. I've got their CD already. If I wanted to sit at home and listen to a fully polished, fresh out the studio kind of version of it, I'd sit in my car and listen to that. But that's not what I'm paying for. I'm paying $50 to $200 for a ticket to go see a show, and you're going to stand up there and sell it to me like this is live? This isn't live to me. This is a fabrication of, and there's a lot of artists that want to perform live. There's a lot of artists that are waiting in line for that shot to get on stage that will kill it, but they're not. They're not there.
For whatever reason, society and people have decided that Rihanna is a star and they want to pay a lot of money to go see her, and they think they're aware of this.
You said for whatever reason.
Yeah, well that.
I certainly don't get her.
That's a slip.
I mean, I think we all know that it's about the production. I mean, that's the excuse that they would give, is that it's not necessarily about the musicality, but it's about the big show, and so people are paying for that big show. It's funny because I like a lot of I go to a lot of shows at the West End and stuff with singer-songwriters, and it's the opposite. Like, I have their CD and it's not as good as their live performance, so I'm with you. Right? I think that something really magical can happen when someone's doing a live performance because it allows them to be organic and to actually use real emotion, and the song can change.
Yeah.
Their voice can crack, maybe they're having an emotional moment and you're there with them.
It's the interaction of the crowd and the crowd giving you back that energy that translates into a live performance, right?
I think the
so
problem
you're
here.
robbed of that, but I get they say would be well if I'm dancing like that.
Well, yeah, well, this is just it, right? If it's a sorry to interrupt you, but if it's a big dancey dance production, how do you breathe and sing at the same time? And a lot of people go to some of these shows to see, like Beyonce's show, for example. It's all about the booty shaking dance and yada yada.
Yeah.
And you can't do both. Even Michael Jackson sang to some tracks.
You see, that's the thing. I've seen Michael Jackson perform in a practice setting, like with his last tour concert that he was doing. This Is It. He had some live footage of him performing and practicing on stage, and it was absolutely 100% live. He was dancing, doing moonwalks, doing a kick step, everything, performing live. See, I see it like this, Kim. When you listen to your music, when the first time you were introduced to a Rihanna or a Kesha or whatever on the radio, you listen to it with your ears and you go, I like that. For whatever reason, I like that, okay? So once you get past that stage of saying I like that, to me, wouldn't you be going to these shows to hear that person sing as opposed to seeing a bunch of people dancing?
But it's not
You
just that
don't fall in love with the dancing because you never saw the dancing.
Here's the thing.
don't buy concert ticket based on one here. Sorry, Jay, we just don't want to hear from you.
I do have a point.
But I don't think you buy a concert ticket based on one song on the radio. People buy concert tickets after buying an album, seeing them on TV, maybe seeing them on Saturday Night Live, whatever.
That's not what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is you heard the vocals. You heard the actual sound of the vocals. You go to these places thinking that's what you're going to get. You're going to get an actual representation of the person's vocals. Instead, you see them jumping around on stage like whack-a-moles, and the whole time they're not even actually like singing. To me, that's a misrepresentation. And if you're going to pay $50 to $200 to go see these live acts, I feel like I'm duped sitting in the audience going, really? Like you're selling this like you're singing this live, but you're not.
Jay.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you. I don't think a lot of these people who are going to see Rihanna and a lot of the pop stars are going for the music. I don't think they heard it on the radio and loved it. I think they're going to see a hot person dance around. I think.
Go to the strip club.
Here's the thing, though. You're talking. What you're talking about is musical art, okay?
Yeah.
And what, on the other hand, what Rihanna and all these other people are doing is pop business.
Oh yeah.
This is pop business.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it's the same. I don't think, like, if going to the West End and seeing someone lip sync as they're sitting there with their guitar, you know. Whereas, like, I am actually considering doing that for my next show. I think that'd be really funny, but it's just not the same thing. It's, for example, would you prefer that people went out and dance synced? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't even know what dancing.
People, there'd be like 5 people in completely black bodysuits, spandex bodysuits, like holding the person's limbs and dancing them around and stuff so they could sing properly, you know? What I'm saying is these aren't really artists. This is just a joke,
really
right?
You know, you know what? Honestly, you know what I would prefer? I would prefer to go, and maybe I'm just old-fashioned. I'm not too sure, but maybe I would prefer to go see a show where, you know, where I saw Gordon Lightfoot recently, where he's, you know, he's an old man now. But he is a standard. He is a legend, a Canadian legend that wrote songs that influenced millions, and bands that like came up after him, like the Guess Who, were influenced by Gordon Lightfoot. I got to see him live. Yeah, he sounded like he just walked through a desert to come perform for us. But he walked up there like a chiseled old gunfighter, and he sang those songs with his heart.
And that, right? Bowie the same way too, right? When he was here, like he's singing some of the especially his older songs. It's like he does not have the vocal range anymore. I mean, he still kills it, but like. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't care. I want to see.
But the fact is, with a lot of these pop stars, they don't have the ability to make it sound like it does on their album, even if they weren't dancing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so produced. There's so much auto-tune on their voice. These people aren't artists. These people are puppets for companies who are making money.
Absolutely. Right? So maybe my problem is with the people that support that. Maybe that's more so than the actual artist is the people that actually go there and feed that industry.
Right, but
and
it's a lot of young people who don't necessarily, the music that you like at the West End wouldn't appeal to them because there isn't enough eye candy and auto-tune and glitter for them. They don't have a refined musical palette yet. You know, I think that
a lot of these fans that you're talking about have heard this song X amount number of times, X amount thousand number of times. Maybe it's just something that, you know, as much as, you know, from a musical standpoint, you know, people that are there for their ears, like you mentioned, Jeff, want to see these people sing live. Maybe these fans that Kim's talking about just want to see something else. You know, they've heard this song.
Why don't they go to the circus?
They are going to the circus.
They are, same people.
They are going to the circus,
I keep saying 14-year-old girls, but it's a lot of them are, that's what they do. 14-year-old girls sit and listen to their iPod. That's, you know, try to get the headphones out of their ears.
14-year-old girls listened to the iPod when Frank Sinatra was singing back in the day. When real artists sang, they were still 14. Well, no, they didn't actually because they didn't have iPods. That's true. But records.
The first time that 9 Inch Nails came to Winnipeg, that it was a really awesome crowd because there was all these people who listened to it, like, you know, in the 90s. So we're all, you know, 30 plus, and then there's a bunch of 14-year-old boys, and that show was incredible. And there's a guy who, you know, puts on a show without having to fake it in any way, right? So there are people who do both.
All right, well, we have to take a break. And Mitchell, I was going to ask you, I'm glad you chimed in because I was going to ask, do you like songs? Do you know any songs?
I just let the experts do the talking.
Okay, we'll come back after the break.
I was sitting there like, man, I got to say something.
You like songs?